Hey there, I'm going to just jump right into this. So this is a how-to on how I did my flash animation. It's not really too much in depth, but it's just going to cover it. So I chose to do this type of story just because I wanted to go back into regular flash and just get a small story in. I didn't want to make it too complex or anything. And I'm pretty proud with the result on what I have. I mean, it was really hard at the beginning. I didn't think it was going to be as hard as I thought it was for only like 10 scenes or 9, but we'll work with it. So, how I did it, I would originally just thought of a small concept, and I guess after talking with Mrs. Dink, I decided that I'd rather do something with like a monster under the bed sort of deal. So I just had to start cranking, and how I do it, I'd start the background, just start building it, just to think of how I wanted it. Then I made a character and made his walking animation. But yeah, these are all weirdly named, but and I made a lot of symbols in the end just to make something simple. But yeah, so I basically started with the background, then the bed, everything that I got in my character, which just I came up with right on the spot. And yeah, as I drew them, I drew them like 5 times just because I wasn't proud of it. Or so this is the best one that I thought I was pretty comfortable with. And then I realized that the walk cycle took way longer than I was gonna expect it to do. So just making them walk from like 5 steps is annoying. But yeah, to do that, I created another symbol. If I can find it, it's one of these, but yeah, right here. So I'll just zoom in on here. But yeah, what I did, I there's many ways on how you could do it. You could either just like rotate the parts, kind of what I did with the arms, or like make motion tweens. But I just decided to draw it every piece individually because it makes a better effect of walking instead of just turning it. So I have it all locked right now, so I don't accidentally mess up anything. But yeah, so if I were to just add on all these, if I'm gonna make it longer or anything, I just not do that. I'd usually just like block out everything else with this. It kind of inverts the color and just shows the outline. And what I do is I'd zoom in pretty far. Just to do this, I'd hook an area and like rotate it if I wanted it to move. And it would, yeah, I just use it to make the effect of a walking. So I'd get it just at a small angle so it seems like it's changing, move it over. Then also bend the elbow a bit because that allows you to, it makes it look better in walking. Then I just drag the little corners of the pieces so that the colors would match up and it'd kind of line up more like an elbow instead of just looking like anything that's weird. So that's how I mainly did it, all of this for the walk cycle. Then I used actual regular animation techniques like just motion tweens to move monster or the kid's eyes I had in this scene. I also used the exact same method of just moving just them really slowly, but when you play it, it moves it fairly fast, like that. Most of it was just drawing with a brush for like the blanket, the eyes, the face. Then just pure imagination. After a while, I started cranking out more, but at first it was a bit hard to come up with anything. I guess the next major thing I did was because I wanted to make a better story because the kid's afraid of the dark and the monsters. I just decided to originally have like a large glowing monster. Just take all this out. So yeah, it moves right here. It slowly rises. I didn't want anything too simple, but to animate it, no, this is yeah, to animate it, I just made circles and made it shadowy so it looks like this. As you can see, I used also another thing. Could have went deeper and had it changing every frame, but I didn't want it just to look all hectic, so I just stuck with like 4 frames. And I had the eyes glowing to have a kind of spooky effect. Then I hadn't be scared of the monster, but I had it slowly rising. Because the monster, I just came up with pure imagination, and it's not supposed to look perfect because it's a monster. So I had it rise up out of the bed after making the hand. And use a little of the same animation techniques, but I didn't want to make like the kid. I didn't want to make the monster grabbing the kid or getting too close or anything, just to show that it's in the kid's head. Then when the lights flick on, I made him disappear as to make it so it looks like it's just in the head. Oh, I accidentally took that off. But a lot of it just involved drawing and dragging things. So yeah, I'll just go back to, I think this one will do for an example. So I had like a little transparent black rectangle to kind of make it look like lights are out, just because I wanted the lights to be able to turn on, and I'd just copy that frame into every single one. But to move all these little circles was time consuming, just because you're moving every frame. And what I do is when I go from frame, I drag this a little more out this way. It's not going to be perfect, but it's kind of how I did it every single frame, and I'd create a new one using like different shortcuts or anything. It's not supposed to do that, but yeah. Clicking too fast and it's doing that. I'm just using the shortcuts with my keyboard. But then after doing that, you'd get it how you want it, and you just create another frame and go, so it looks like he's slowly opening his eyes. And just undo all that. But yeah, to make it realistic, him opening his eyes. And yeah, so I can just refer to this. Yes, so it all kind of worked out in the end. I mean, I'm happy with it. I mean, I wish I could do more. It's just I did not expect at the beginning for it to be as hard as I was planning it. I could use time better, but yeah, just the amount of work caught up to me along with other classes. But it was longer than one of my usual animations where it's 30 seconds, so a minute long or almost a minute. I was pretty happy with that. And I'd always check about how long it'd take through like going to control and just either testing the scene or the movie, because my shortcuts seem to hate me right now. Then I just tested how I want it, and then went into iMovie to add out the sound effects and cut it and edit it. But the majority I spent in here was in Flash, and I could also put in better sound effects, but I wanted to keep it like copyright free and stuff, so yeah, don't want it hating on us. So yeah, that's the majority of it. I mean, I don't know how I'd change it, but a lot of it was just creating things so you can put it in there. The hard part isn't really that much animating, except for when you're doing frame by frame animations, like in my third scene where you're just doing this, changing it, because you got to change it and time consume it. I mean, not time consuming, sorry, but it just takes so much time while doing this just to move everything that you want. I mean, at first it was a little simple, then I started making it a little bit better as I went on, which I should have done from the beginning. But yeah, I kind of got my role by the end, but the beginning it was a mess for me. Yeah. So yeah, if you want to see the animation with the editing and stuff, we have it on the channel, and I'll also leave a little button you can press, or whatever you call it, to just click on it now and go straight to it. But yeah, that's showing my project, and don't really want to go like crazy drawing with it, but just showing you the basis because lots of animations are built different ways, and I just decided to use with what I know rather than learning something new this whole time. And it worked out for me in the end, but could have done better. So that's my project.